Hello guys, so Parrot has loaded successfully, but this does not mean that it was installed, just like I mentioned in the previous video. So in this video what we're doing is actually installing the Parrot OS. So after maybe you've checked out the operating system and you like it and you choose to install it, you click on this one that says install Parrot. So as for me, I'm satisfied, and then I'm going to click on this one, and then I will walk you through the steps on how to get to install Parrot alongside Windows on your PC. So Windows is already installed, I just need to install Parrot on this other partition. So there are steps here that you can see. We'll go through one by one. Now the most and critical stage is partitions. So this one is easy peasy. You just go for English where I'm at, choose any location you're at, you can choose any keyboard type. Now there are steps here on how to partition this one. So you're presented with 4 options, but what you want to do is choose manual partitioning. Why? Because manual partitioning allows you to, gives you more control of how to or where, which partition you're going to use to partition to install the operating system. In our case, if we say install replace partition, it will just format the whole hard drive and then the other operating system will be lost. This is good if you want to start over with this new operating system and then install alongside other program, meaning that it will shrink other partitions to make room for which one. Now we already made a partition for this one in Windows, so there's no need to go for this one. It will say, if we say erase disk, this is not a good option as well. It will just erase everything. So what I want to do is actually click on manual partitioning and click on next. In manual partitioning, you will see a number of partitions in our hard drive. What you will need to know is that Windows is always installed in the NTFS partition. So any disk that is labeled NTFS is Windows. So if you are in here, you're not going to see something like Windows 10, Windows 11, Windows. No, you just see DEV/SD A6 or A1 or whatever. This is how they are labeled. So if it's your first time, they are so confusing. Yeah, they get confusing, but I'm here to explain exactly what you're supposed to do here. So please note that I already have a Linux installed on this one, is on this one. So I want to replace it with this operating system. So yours will not look like this, but it should look similar if you already have Windows, because you should have an NTFS and another NTFS. So these two, you do not want to tamper with them because they are where Windows installed. And then you also have some other partitions, which is the healthy partition and the backup partition that comes with Windows. You do not want to touch those as well. So what you need to do, what I need to do in my case, is to delete all the ext4 file system partitions, because this is where my Ubuntu was seated. So once that is done, you can do your checks and balances from here. So if you are the one who installed your operating system, you should know. Like me, I can tell just by looking at the size. I know that NTFS, this is where Windows is. Yeah, just looking at the size of the GBs. So I have 2 partitions in Windows where I installed my operating system, and they are divided 150 equally. So these two are from Windows. Now this other one here is the one that I want to install Ubuntu in. Now my hard drive is not that big, it's a 500 GB. So you can install this one on a 500 GB, a dual boot. Okay, if you have something bigger, that's better. But if you have a 300, I would not recommend that dual boot. So in our case, I'm just going to make new partitions where this new operating system is going to sit. So the partitions are as follows. You start with the file system. Our file system for the first partition is ext4. Then this is a root. Then the mount point of a root is supposed to be /. The size of the root, I'm going to give it 30 GB. So it's in MBs there, can be confusing, but don't let it confuse you. You can see here we have our first one here, 30 gig. Then I'll also create another one from here as well. I'll create a Linux swap. Okay, and then the mount point should be a swap. Then this swap area should be about 6 GB. And I'll also explain how I'm deciding the sizes of these partitions once I think I'm done with all of these. So FAT32, then this will go on boot. This one will be small, 200 is okay. So just go for boot, and another one, 200. FAT32, this one will be where Glab is going to be installed, and then I'll choose the boot EFI, click OK, and another one. So this one is going to be an ext4. I'll actually get the list of whatever is remaining, then just get whatever is remaining. So I'll need you to pardon my language, guys. English is not my native language. I'm a learner. I don't know if it's a learner or a learner, but I'm learning. So I'll need you to pardon my pronunciation or spellings of some certain words. So this one will be mounted at home. Alright, so then when that is done, then I'll come to here. So the first one here is a root. What basically it does, from my experience with Ubuntu, and I stand to be corrected, this is a partition where packages will be installed from. So if you're downloading stuffs and some packages that you might run in the CMD, the root partition is where actually you're going to have that packages. And I'm sure this is like the primary partition where even the operating system will be saved. So you can give it a 30 GB is okay, because the operating system is about 5 GB or 6, and then the other will go maybe will be dedicated to the packages. So let's talk about the swap area, my favorite. I think this is why I actually like Ubuntu and some Linux operating system. So the swap area is an area that acts like a backup RAM in your PC. Let's say if you have if you're out of RAM in your PC, you can use some storage, something from the swap area. This has to do with when you're booting the PC, and this is the home where you're going to install all your files and all your everything that you download. So from here you just click on next, and then what is it saying? EFI system partition is necessary to start Parrot OS. So a partition was configured with the mount point reserved, but it's not boot. So I need to change something. I need to check my AF5 partition and set it to boot here. Okay, then I click on next. There we don't have any errors, so I'll just keep this simple. Keep the name. So I'm using Slickbook HP Pavilion, by the way, right? So I'll just leave it like that. Okay, and then for your password, you can set anything that you want. I recommend you set a strong password, and when that is done, you click on the next button here. So you just have to review this, and if you're cool with it, you click on this one and you're set to go. So what you will see here, Parrot will be, the installation process will start to take approximately between 15 to 30 minutes depending on how fast your PC is. It might even take less depending on how fast your PC is. Now mine is slow, so I will need to pause the video for now and actually get back when everything is set and done. Alright.